Hey Virgo, happy Black Moon in Virgo. That was very synchronous that you guys came up on my dice roll here. And the celestial skies are very busy in your sign right now. We are freshly into Virgo season. We've got that Virgo Black Moon going on right now. And the South Node is still in your sign. And for those who aren't familiar, a black moon is like a blue moon, except with the new moon. Moon, moon, moon. How many times can I say moon? And we have the moon card. Yeah, meow. Um, and so I wanted to explore those celestial events positions a little bit more with the moon card, the hermit card, and we have the Eight of Pentacles here. And I'm using the Thoth tarot. And so we'll start here with the moon card. And so this could be some uncertainty you may be feeling, and given that we're in that new moon lunation right now, maybe you're looking for a new beginning because of some uncertainty, or you're looking for a new beginning to relieve you of some uncertainty that you're facing. So let's get the first card and see what this is about. Ooh, we've got the Princess of Discs here in reverse. So definitely some, I don't want to say blockages. The word that's coming to mind is interference. And I don't know if that's something I'm picking up on from the Eight of Pentacles in reverse, because this is like feeling stuck, perfectionism, procrastination. Yes, kitten, I hear you. You already had your salmon. Why do you wait until I start recording to start jibber jabbering, huh? She's very cute. But so the Princess of Discs and the Thoth Tarot, the court cards are a little bit different. They're not set up like a one-to-one with the Rider Waite. Let's get another card, actually. That uncertainty's throwing me for a loop. This might be a good time to talk about the wild dream that I had a couple nights ago that really shook me. It took me probably, I want to say like an hour-ish to really shake that like derealization fog after waking up. But it was like a movie, and I haven't had a dream like that in so long, because the medication that I take at night that helps me with nightmares, the anticonvulsants that I take, those completely wipe out my nightmares, but they also take my dreams with them too, which is like an unfortunate side effect, but not dealing with nightmares anymore is no small mercy. So it's a bit of a double-edged sword, but I digress. So this dream that I had, I was in a senator's house, and I don't know why I know that, because I have very like limited context here, but I was grieving that senator, so I don't know if we were like related, or I was like their assistant or something like that. But anyway, I was like going through the house, doing the normal post-mortem stuff that you do for someone, like packing up their belongings and whatnot. And I found something really unusual in there, in one of the boxes, and it was my mail. And I was so confused. I was like, what? Why do they have my mail? Like stuff that was supposed to be sent to my address. And along with the stacks of mail that was mine, there were also handwritten like medical logs, like they were tracking their own symptoms, but the handwriting was like my handwriting when I was younger. I used to print and now I write in cursive. And it was like the strangest thing because I knew like I had not written that, but it was my handwriting. And this house or this mansion really ended up being a maze. And during this dream, the perspective switched to the senator. And they were setting up a BOMB in the house, like while I was doing my thing, like with their estate or whatever. And I was seeing that being set up through their eyes. It was so trippy, that perspective switch. And I remember seeing them like walk through the house and there was an entity attached to them. And I had to chew on it for a little bit to try and figure out like who is this entity? Like what is this about? Is it just like a ghost or whatever? But I think it was Azazel. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. The angel of forbidden knowledge. And this dream was just so realistic. It was one of those things like you wake up and you're 1 foot in dreamland and you're 1 foot in reality. It's that derealization. And oof, that is such an uncomfortable feeling. But like that device being set up and whatnot, it really reminded me of I, Robot. If you've seen that movie, that and this movie I think came out in the early 2000s. But when the main character, Will Smith, the main character is not Will Smith, but he's playing the main character. You get where I'm going. So he is doing a similar sort of deal, like going through a house of somebody who's deceased, and then something happens that's not supposed to happen that like almost takes him out. And it has such a like a reminisce vibe of that. And so I was trying to chew on like, what on earth could this be a metaphor for? And it's making me think of something from the past returning right before a big change. Like, you know how that always happens? Like when you're about to make progress with something, if you look back on big changes in your life. We have here success. Great success. 6 of Pentacles, 6 of Discs. Yeah, but right before you're about to like make that breakthrough into the next stage, the past comes back. It's like a blast from the past. That doesn't necessarily mean it's literally going to be someone from the past. It might just be someone that reminds you of the past or a past situation. It's got the same sort of like uncanny vibe. Like, have I gone through this before? Is this deja vu? But so, 6 of Pentacles here. And this is a bit of a different take than the typical 6 of Pentacles. So we've got all these little signs here. Mars, Venus, the Moon, Mercury, Jupiter, and Saturn. But it's about equal give and take. So maybe in this new beginning, because of things in the past, you might be struggling with some feelings of, am I going to get equal give and take this time? We have, 4 of Wands and Death. So that could be the worry, that you could be headed towards another maybe false destination. This could be relationship, job, anything like that. And might be feeling some hesitancy towards, like, I've tried so many times before to set my life on track or lay down roots or something. Should I even be making this change? That could be where some of this uncertainty is coming from. And I was talking about interference with the Princess of Discs. This doesn't necessarily mean there's present interference. That could be the effect from the past. Maybe some betrayal wounds that might need some examining. Leaning into those Virgo themes of perfectionism and so forth. Of not knowing how things are going to go. There's like I can feel the tension, like holding your breath. And maybe it's got you a little bit aggro, because we've got the Aries sign here and it's in reverse, so that could be coming out as some distorted energy, some maladaptive energy of being a little too hostile up front. Is it... Hi, kitten. It could be... Or what was I getting at? You're too cute. You distracted me. Huh. Maybe I'll catch that thread again. Maybe I won't. Oh, I mean, if you want this new opportunity to work out, you gotta go into the unknown, you know? And it feels bad to try and extend that trust again after you've been hurt. And the only way your trust is going to fully be repaired, I was going to say prepared, but to be repaired is to give it the opportunity to be repaired. And I'm not saying, dive blindly into just anything. Like, you want to take calculated risks and, assess things. But it could be causing some restlessness. We have Mercury in Aries. And then optimism. Moon in Sagittarius. Interesting. Very male and female themed cards here. And he's covered. I don't need to cover him. But this looks like Hermes, the messenger, Mercury. And he's got the caduceus, the staff of Hermes, healing. So approaching this new beginning with an optimistic attitude. Not necessarily throwing caution to the wind, but if you really want a new beginning, you're going to have to take a chance on it, And that's scary after you've been hurt, after you've been betrayed. So don't think that, think what you want, but that you have to walk into, or you're not ready for a new beginning until you walk into it like with fearlessness. Fear is a necessary component for bravery. If you're not afraid, then there is no opportunity to be brave. So just something to chew on. But let's look at the Hermit here. And this is a little bit different. Again, like how the Moon card is a bit different than the Rider-Waite. But we've got Cerberus in the lower right here. And the Hermit card... Oh, and this looks like the cosmic egg. Cosmic egg from the uh, animal spirit deck from the Wild Unknown. And the Hermit card, that is the light within. So retreating into introspection, into solitude, to seek the authentic self, the process of individuation. And we have the Lovers in reverse and the Priestess. I'm getting more of a literal vibe with the Lovers. That you may be a bit resistant to relationships. You could expand that out into business partnerships, things like that, and that could be those lingering betrayal wounds. But with the Priestess here, that's like seeing into the unknown, of having the confidence to walk forward, knowing that you have the inner wisdom, you have the knowledge from going through the various trials and tribulations of your life to move forward, to be able to identify when an opportunity isn't for you in ways that maybe you hadn't before. Maybe you've done a lot of self-help, self-work around relationships and codependency, and really I had a hard time building my relationship to that word codependency, because of all the hyper independence that I deal with complex PTSD. And codependency is putting other people's happiness before your own at the expense of yourself. It's not relying on other people. Relying on other people is what we need to do. I think the hyper individualism of the modern Western world is really harmful to the human psyche and spirit, because we need community. We need to be able to count on each other, especially in times of uncertainty. But in interdependent relationships, like romantic relationships, business relationships, where both people are gaining from the situation, you have to be able to count on the other party to do their part, to do what they say they're going to do. And it's so much bigger than like, oh, you forgot to move the chicken from the freezer into the fridge so it can be ready for dinner tonight. Like, it goes deeper into, why am I not being considered? Why am I not being thought of? And you can only deal with those things for so long. I used to let things go on for ages, of just like giving chance after chance after chance of, oh, they'll get it next time, the weaponized incompetence. Yeah, 2 cups. This expresses a lot in romantic relationships. But it was like stuff like that built over time, where the frustration became resentment. And I was in a bad spot because I couldn't leave. I was stuck because of financial situations, and I think that contributed to a lot of the treatment I had to endure, which was far worse than them not taking the trash out. And it's scary. It is scary to stick your neck out there and go, well, maybe this time. Because that's that, definition of insanity? Doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. But it's not the same. If you've gone to therapy, gone to support groups, or even just done your own self-study through YouTubeversity to work through your stuff, it's not the same. You're not walking into a new situation the same person. You're walking into a new situation a learned person from the things that you've been through. Choice. Mars in Libra. And this is a lot of love symbolism in this too. There's a lot of that coming up. So this could be heavy relationship themes, and I mean Libra. So we've got a rose, of course the scales, and that's interesting. The woman on the left, blindfolded, and the woman on the right is so intent, like looking at the fulcrum. Is it balanced? Is it even? There's no such thing as a 50-50 relationship. It's like two trains headed towards the same destination, in tandem, in parallel. Sometimes they gotta do their own thing, and, the tracks come closer, and they kind of weave out, and they come closer, but it's headed in the same direction. And we've got this disembodied set of legs here. You might be feeling a little kneecapped. Just relationships have taken you out at the knees before, which I totally understand. And, one of the things I found in Tarot Land is that most of the examples that are given are for the not extreme examples. And that's something that has always felt really isolating in my life. Like, not just in Tarot Land, but just in general. Of, well, where's the advice for me? Because I'm pretty open about mental health and things like that. And you don't get things like PTSD and seizures from normal circumstances, or even close to normal circumstances. And I know there's other people out there that don't yet have the vocabulary for these things to describe betrayal wounds, and especially something like derealization. You sound insane trying to describe that without the vocabulary for that. So I just kind of wanted to plug that this is a safe space for the extreme circumstances that people don't ever really want to talk about. But we've got Prudence here, the Eight of Pentacles. And so this is the South Node card. Or at least where I'm putting it. Because the Hermit card is first decan Virgo, which is the turn of the wheel that we're in right now. And Eight of Pentacles, that's that feeling stuck. You can't see the forest for the trees, and very fitting imagery, with that tree there. And you can also think of that as not reaching mastery quite yet. Like you're on the 7th pentacle. Let's get the first card for that and see what's going on in our South Node right now. And that is the head and the tail of, like, the dragon of destiny, the dragon of karma. I've heard a bunch of different ways that the North and South Node are described. Oh, I thought that was going to come out. But so the South Node lessons are what you are trying to work through. I'm going with that one. I kind of did topsy-turvy. Ooh, Ace of Wands. So an idea that's brewing. Maybe this is the missing component towards mastery to get you out of the South Node into your North Node, which that would be in Pisces right now. And that's my placement. Pisces and Virgo, North and South Node. But what about this idea? What's stopping this, or what's got us hung up on this 8th pentacle? Feeling stuck. And that perfectionism, procrastination is something that I've struggled with all my life. Of if I'm not confident that I'll do it perfectly, I might not even start. Valor, 7 of Wands. Be still and know that I am God. That came up a few readings ago. The Psalm 46:10. And that flipped over right when I was talking about the procrastination, like not starting if you're not confident that you can do it perfectly. So this is being courageous, going for it, knowing that you've earned that place at the 7 because you came from the 6, from the victory card into the 7. So now you might have some challengers. Maybe that's it. That they want to test you, your skill, whatever, to earn that mastery. Because if anybody has any sort of like martial arts in their background, you know, like when you're testing for a belt, you have to like demonstrate or fight somebody. Like it depends on your style and all that, what you're doing. But like to get a black belt, like there's really specific tests, and so you could be dealing with that. And it might not be that overt in the context of a romantic relationship. This could just be somebody popping up in your vibe and in your energy that maybe like you would have gone for before, but now the second you lock eyes with them, they just give you the ick. Like there's something about them that the first word that falls out of their gaping maw, it just, nope. I can detect the bleh. Mm-mm. I cringe at some of my previous choices, which means I have grown. Thank goodness. Let's get another card here. And if it's something to do with work, you could be going for some sort of certification testing or something like that. Maybe it's the last in a series of certs that you've been going for. And you can apply that to university programs and whatnot too. Let's get another card here. Queen of Wands. Very creative individual. And she's got more of an ocelot in this deck rather than like a house cat. So very creative. And in this structure, I think she is at the top, because there's no kings in the Thoth deck. So she's at the top of her game, ready to be tested. Like, look at that armor. She looks very formidable. That's kind of like sitting back in Empress energy, but like a warrior Empress, like Xena. Like, just, let's go. You come to me, like, when you're ready. When you're ready to take this on, bring it. And that is even more egotistical than I feel about the Queen of Wands, because it's very regal. Like, she knows her power, and it's just kind of, I'll be here when you're ready. Generosity. This came out in the last reading, if I'm not mistaken. Saturn in Leo in the Four Horsemen reading. Yeah. So Saturn in Leo, harsh lessons in leadership. And he's doing that hand signal from the Hierophant card. 2 fingers to heaven, 2 to hell. And this person does kind of look like they're preaching to a congregation. And a male and female. So this could be even a public conflict. I'm not necessarily like broadcast across the world, but it's just a conflict that will be seen, that will be noticed. One of those things that, especially in any sort of like long-term situation where, take like a relationship, for example, where the friend groups have started to like mesh and meld and whatnot, and maybe you two have broken up, but you're still working out living arrangements, but you don't want to deal with opinions from friends until you get your space, so you're not saying anything yet, but they can tell something's wrong. Like, it's just, there's tension in the air. And generosity. That does kind of remind me of the 6 of Pentacles here under the moon. Maybe you're challenging something because they were not as generous as they were supposed to be. It could be that. They didn't do something that they said they would. And maybe for a bunch of people. And so now it's like 2 powerhouses going up against each other of, it's just time to sort this out. That could be the catalyst to your new beginning of standing up and just saying enough. Like, this territory, this kingdom is mine, and I'm going to stand up for it, stand up for the congregation. So, something epic, maybe? I don't know. Some sort of defining moment in your life. Because regardless of the context, becoming a master, that is a really defining moment. If you have graduated with any level of degree before, you know how big of a feeling that is. I mean, in a relationship context, I hope that's not. I hope you're not, like arguing in a really battle royale fashion in a romantic context. Might be time to move on at that point. Just my 2 cents. It could be a legal matter, though. Those get really complicated based on the context and whatnot. Like, my divorce, when I went through that, was very simple because I was the only one working and everything was in my name. So, pretty easy. But I don't have kids. So, that is something I thankfully did not have to deal with. We'll get a Moonology card here. Let's see. I don't know why I got so stuffy all of a sudden. Trying not to, like, sniff in your ear. These ones don't want to plop one out. Come on. Surrender to the divine. Full moon. That's interesting because it didn't come out until I took action. That could be your relationship to this situation. And this is full moon, so this could be a very short period of time that this is coming up. Just a couple weeks here. But your relationship to the situation, to the divine and whatnot, the divine could have brought you to this place. And now it's up to you to act. Like, you gotta rise to meet your destiny, right? It's not just gonna find you on the couch. And surrender is not just total passivity. It's an acceptance of where you are right now. And then figuring out what you need to do based on what your situation is, what your desired outcome is. Could even be leaving something behind. That could be a lesson in those 8 pentacles of knowing when to walk away from something. Because if you look at this from a different perspective of maybe this is like a distorted leader, somebody abusing their power or something like that. Maybe everyone in the congregation is fully behind them. Might be in your best interest just to bail, you know. Just gotta figure that out, like discern that for yourself, but not every situation is worth preserving or is good, healthy for you to preserve. But we have in the air tonight, in this moment, one of the best covers I've ever heard. I really enjoy that. And frozen pizza and a movie night. I think that's pretty solid song and activity. And it's starting to cool down, so it's a good time to turn on the oven. You know, it's not gonna heat up the whole place to a ridiculous degree where your AC's just, you know, being put through the paces. So a lot to think about, a lot going on, it sounds like, between some uncertainty in, is this a change I really want to dive into again? And then finding that light within, that you have the knowledge to go forth into the unknown. And I'm seeing the 2-2 right here, the 2 of Cups and the High Priestess, which is number 2. So having a balanced approach to the unknown and one more step towards mastery, whether that's preservation, this battle royale vibe that I was getting, or even abandoning ship. You know, if you're not the captain, do you need to go down with the ship? Just something to think about. But overall, I hope this helps. I hope this resonates, and if it doesn't, I hope the next one does. Thank you so much.